throughout the country?
Yes, actually, here in the Austin San Antonio market, there's an auto dealer who the same dealer owns two Hyundai stores, and they're about 30 miles apart. One is in the Austin market and one's in the San Antonio market. And so they wanted to test an audience-driven campaign versus a traditional demo-driven campaign. And so what we did, since they're in different media markets, we were able to do, but completely different campaigns for them. In San Antonio, we did the traditional demo-driven adult 25-54 campaign that, consisted of, high-profile programming and, a lot of prime time and, a lot of programming that traditionally you would use to target, an auto buyer. In Austin, we used our first-party data, aggregated, de-identified, and matched up, identified as people who owned a Kia or Hyundai. So they already owned the brand. They were already engaged with that brand. And so we were able to identify those homes, and we created a campaign delivered primarily to those homes, but also, to the, the networks and day parts that people that were like them were going to buy, going to be watching. And so the results were dramatic. The website traffic was more than 3 times in Austin versus San Antonio. There were every measurable engagement that we could measure. Austin far outpaced San Antonio, and not just with better results, not just with more web traffic and more sales, but a higher concentration of responses from the impression level. So it showed that we were delivering the ads to the homes that were really predisposed to take action, and and more receptive to that brand, to their offers. And basically the same creative, because it's two Hyundai dealers, they're running the same kind of look and feel of ad, and it's the same owner, 30 miles apart, different targeting strategies, and the data-driven strategy dramatically outperformed the traditional demo strategy.
I'll use generic. We were working with a real estate developer around town, and we were trying to find ways, like, what is the best way to help grow out, because they were trying to build a lot of homes, and then once the homes were built, they had to sell them. I was like, how do we get to where, because they're building the homes now, we have a timeline of X to get it to where we're selling these homes. Like, what do we need to do? So the key that we did was we used the same idea here of first-party data of can we see, like, not to say like who's doing the leads, but like the amount of leads you have on your websites, conversions, and this, and it's like, see if we can map them to a zip code. So that way we figured out here's where they're coming from, and here's how many they're going on, so we know, like, in terms, like, say, tonnage, or more or less, like, where should we target most in terms of, like, the budget for the advertising campaign. And in doing so, we got them on air, and it was one of our biggest clients we had for like 3-4 years, and they were spending 6 figures in this market, which is pretty fair amount. So that was a great success story for us, is just finding ways to using first-party data to make sure that we finding ways to use first-party data to make sure they hit their primary audience all the time, make sure they grow their business from the ground up. Another one we could use is almost using the same exact example, is just more of a window company around town. And they had the same thing of like, well, we have all this Salesforce data. It was like, what can we use this for to see if we can reach our audience the best? So we took the data, what makes the most sense, where are they coming from, who are they in terms of the audience type, and then from there they grew their business at least last year. I believe they're still current with us too. I was like, they also did the same thing, and they saw huge dividends and gains in their business that they saw. So very, very nice to see, like, something that, hey, we see it and it starts to work, and I was like, we're both helping each other. It's always nice to see that.
For sure. So I have several clients that are digital only, but I work with a client that is at the state level, and so they buy all over the state, and they're like e-commerce, I would say, without mentioning specifically, but they are running just streaming TV with me and some traditional TV, but their product is really focused on a lot of higher income households that have disposable income, I suppose, to kind of spend frivolously on something, an item that you don't need but may want. And so we were very focused on reaching that person and what kind of car they drive, because it is auto adjacent to what they're doing. And so they've been running with me. To me, a success is somebody that continues to run every year because they're seeing results, and so they're coming back to you. And we've been playing around with putting their streaming TV ads specifically into Monday Night Football because it's a little sports focused. Part of their product is sports focused, and their commercials are sports focused. So we've been putting their streaming ads directly into Monday Night Football, which is a capability not a lot of people can do, but we can do. And that was very successful for them because we know we're reaching that Monday Night Football viewer. And that sports viewer is very important because they're enthusiastic, compassionate, and very engaged. So they've just been 100% digital with me, 100% streaming, and they've just seen a lot of success with it.
or I got to be in some spectrum zone. You can watch it anywhere. As long as you have a phone, you can watch it on a plane ride 30,000 feet in the air. So more or less, that's our biggest focus now. And of course, there's a lot more digital products we do have. We do a little bit of social. We have search. There's our ones that is a really big boon for us is because we are first party. Like you can still do addressable to the home, which is a lot of people can't do because they don't have the. They do a lot of IP targeting and try to, but in this instance, like because we know who's in the homes because they pay us for the internet service. It's like we can go target those people directly because we know who they are. So it's a very, very nice thing to have. There's a lot more out there, of course. Like there's some that have been retired. There's some that are coming up new. So it's kind of more or less like how things are evolving. It's just at a day's pace. What's new? But yeah, digital's becoming more and more prevalent as the days go by. They really are. So the biggest one that is always, we've had it for years, is the usage of first-party data. Because in terms of it, a lot of like the third-party people out there, like say it's somebody using from Tegna or somebody else or whoever it is, they don't own like the boxes and stuff in the homes. Like they don't own the television that's bought by the consumer. Like for us, we're the internet service provider or the ISP. So in doing so, like we have all the information of everybody that runs everything through the household. So granted, of course, it's all anonymized. It's not, said, hey, we do this person over here.